Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I hope you're doing fantastic out there. In this video today, I'm going to talk about something from Titan Survival that I didn't know that they had. Now, Titan Survival has been known for years for having fantastic paracord, excellent survivor cord, and now they have dry bags. I didn't know that they had these. These are fantastic. These are 10-liter orange dry bags. They have a included shoulder strap. As you can see, they can get very compact. And for those of you out there who aren't familiar with what a dry bag is or why I'm so excited about it, it is a durable, ripstop, abrasion-resistant bag. You put your items inside of the bag that you want protected from the elements. You come from the top down, take the air out, and then you roll this down at least 3 times. Then you can bring these slide release buckles together. Now the items that you have inside of this bag are now protected from the elements. So maybe you're around snow, maybe you're around water, maybe you're on a boat or around sand or dust, and you don't want these contents inside to be exposed to any of that. Kayakers use these, people on boats use these, canoes. Maybe you're a hiker that goes around waterfalls, or you live in the Southwest like me, and there's dust and stuff flying around in the air and sand, and you don't want your change of clothes, for example, to get dirty or dusty or wet. So dry bags are really good for that. They're also good if you stuff them full of whatever, whether it's clothes or duff like grass or any kind of debris. You can use them as a makeshift pillow if you forgot a pillow at camp time. You can also use them to collect things. So maybe you're out at camp, you want to collect wild edibles. Maybe you have an apple tree on your land, but it's at the other end of the land and you don't want to make 10 trips to that apple tree to bring in a harvest of apples. You could take a dry bag, make 1 trip over to that tree, fill this thing with apples, and bring them back home. If you're out in the camping world or the survival world, maybe you're out harvesting wild edible plants or wild medicinal plants. You could go out, do that, and bring this stuff back. Or if you're gonna be working with water and your camp is not super close to the water source, so you don't wanna make multiple trips to that water source, you can take this dry bag, go get 10 liters of water, bring it back to camp where you have a campfire, and maybe inside of the campfire you have some rocks. And while you were at camp, you made some wooden tongs that are very simple to make. You can now reach into that fire and grab those rocks with those tongs and drop the rocks in the dry bag full of water. And eventually that water will come up to a boil, making the water inside safe to drink. So you're not gonna get cryptosporidium, you're not gonna get giardia, you're gonna make that water safe to drink. You can also use these to protect your food at camp. So maybe you don't want birds, you don't want predators or scavengers, bears to get into your food. If you have a tree or something in the area, you can throw some paracord over a high branch and hoist your food up, making it much harder for those animals to get to your food. Another cool thing about putting the food in a dry bag versus leaving it out on the picnic table is the smell signature that food provides. If it's on the table, those animals can smell that and they'll come right in. But if you put it in a dry bag and you give it a few wraps and get it up, I'm not saying that they cannot smell it, but it makes that signature of smell much, much smaller, so you have a better chance of not having animals come into your camp because they smell your food items. You can also use these when you're out on a boat. If you want to fill this thing with air, okay, so you just kind of scoop a little air. It's very easy to do. Then you give it a couple wraps, and you're creating an air pocket. So you're out on a boat or a kayak or something, and somebody falls in the water, they don't know how to swim. You can throw this into the water. It's very easy to see because the color contrasts everything in nature. They can grab onto this thing and use it as an emergency flotation device. I do this all the time for fun, and it works good. They will hold my weight, and I weigh over 200 pounds. And a dry bag this size can give me enough buoyancy to keep me on the surface of the water. So if it was a survival situation, this could be a life-saving device. Another thing that's really good about these is if you want to build some kind of kit, whether it's a survival kit or a first aid kit, or maybe it's a kit that's a combination of the two, you could put your items in here, you could throw it in the trunk of your car, in the back seat, whatever, and you're driving down the road and maybe you come across an accident. Somebody's got sliced open and they need a tourniquet. They're about to bleed out. You can be over there holding that dude's artery, keeping the blood in his body. Tell a bystander, hey, in the back seat of my truck, there's an orange bag. Bring it to me. They're going to find this very easily. They're going to bring you that. You're going to pull out your tourniquet, which is protected. It's not wet. It's not dusty. It's clean. So you're going to be able to stop that blood and save that person's life. Now, if we take that scenario a step further, nobody's on the scene except for you and maybe a bystander, and you're waiting on some kind of rescue, whether it's a survival thing, you're out in the wilderness and you've gotten lost and you've got an airplane looking for you or a helicopter, or you're on that crash site at the side of the road and there's an ambulance coming. You can use this as a signaling device. So what you would do is you would take your strap or your paracord, because this color contrasts with all the colors in nature. So if you swing this in large circular motions, not only the color itself, but now the movement, you got two different signatures now that you're putting out there for people that are coming to rescue you to see. The color and the movement. So it's going to be swinging it in large circular motions, and you're definitely going to get someone's attention. They're going to see that very easily. They're going to know right where to go. The ambulance is going to pull right up to you because they saw this orange dry bag. Now the cool thing is they come with this strap, so you can use this over your shoulder. So you can put that right over your shoulder and use it like a backpack. You can be hands-free to do whatever you got to do, and you still have your items with you. Another thing that you could use this for is to create a clean environment or clean workstation. So for example, maybe you're out on the beach or something, or in a sandy environment, and you need to put your cutting board down to slice your vegetables, but you don't want to put your cutting board down on the sand. So you can use this to put on the sand, and now you put your cutting board here, and then you can cut your vegetables without worrying about sand getting onto your cutting board. You can also use this workstation for practicing friction fire, whether it's hand drill or bow drill. You can put your hearth there, and now you're not rocking all over the place because of the sand. You have a little bit cleaner area, and this could help raise your success rate at getting that fire made. You can also take this thing and not only go get the wild edibles, medicinals, or harvest your fruit, but you can also go around and find things that you can bring back to camp. Maybe you're going to be practicing friction fire, so you can go out and find, oh, there's a down cottonwood tree, I'm going to pull some cottonwood bark, stuff that in there. Oh, you're walking a little further. Oh, there's some juniper. Let's scrape some bark off of that. Put that in there. Oh, some grass that's dry. Put that in there. Oh, that tree has a wound and it's got some sap. Let's put that in there. And then when you get back to camp, you dump out all that stuff and you have all these materials that you can use at your camp to practice your skills. So these are just fantastic bags. Some people say, well, 10 liters is a little bit larger than what I need. That's too big. I don't need one that big. I only need to carry maybe a pair of socks, shorts, and underwear and a tank top. I'm gonna go to the beach. I don't need a 10-liter dry bag. Cool thing about these is you can make them any size below 10 liters. So what you'll do is you'll put your items in there, get the air out about where the level of the items are, then you roll it down further. You can go roll it down 10 times if you want to. So you can go down until you see your items, until you come in contact with your items. And then when you bring this slide release buckle back to itself, you have now made this 10-liter dry bag smaller. So now you're dealing with maybe a 4, 5, 6-liter dry bag, perfect for your change of clothes on the beach. This is fantastic. So there's lots of reasons that these dry bags are nice to have. If you want to put this in your backpack and you're going to hike into a location, these also get very compact. So maybe you don't want to just throw it in there the way it is. You can lay the strap down, roll this bag down, and make it very small so that you can slip it either right down into your pack like this, or you could fold this, bring these buckles together, and make it just a little bit bigger than my fist, and just throw that in your pack. And then when you get to whatever location you want to pull this out and use it, it's right there ready for you to use. Maybe you're going to use it to collect water. If you haven't seen my 5-day solo survival experience video, I used 5-liter dry bags to haul water and drink out of them and stuff, and it worked really good. Another thing that's cool about dry bags, maybe you're a dog owner and you have a dog with you, and you can turn a lot of this dry bag inside out, and you can make a bowl for your dog to drink water out of. So you just go inside out a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Something like that, you put some water in there, and now your dog's happy because he can drink water. He doesn't have to try to drink out of a bottle or out of a cup. He's got a large, wide mouth option here for him to drink the water out of. You can do the same thing with dog food. You just put it in that dry bag, and that's another thing. You don't want the dog food to get the other contents in your pack cross-contaminated, if you will. So you put the dog food in there and it stays clean. The dog's going to be happy. His food's not wet. It's not bad. These things are good at resisting temperatures, so you can use dry bags in cold temperatures. You can also use them in very hot temperatures, humid temperatures, and they work really good. They're good bags to have. I personally think that these are a viable survival item, and I'm glad that Titan Survival is offering them. Now these are a very durable, abrasion resistant, ripstop material. They're made out of good materials. Folks, that's about all I have for you today on this video. These are the 10-liter Titan Survival dry bags. I'm very excited now that I know that they have these. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and please share it. And if you're interested in picking up any of these dry bags, the link is in the description box down below. So with all that being said, folks, I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.